Darkness, welcome to the War Room. Now, normally you're part of the expert panel, but it's nice to finally have you here one-on-one for a little interview. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great today. Thank you for welcoming me here, Christo.
Awesome. So I know we mentioned we want to talk all about your trip to Iceland. We want to hear about 1939 games. I think we've got a little video as well about your trip over there and some of the fun that you brought with you. But before we get to that, I wanted to take the opportunity to chat with you a little bit one-on-one, just around what brought you to cards, what got you into the game, some of your gaming background and stuff like that. I think at this point your name's pretty synonymous with cards in general. What kind of brought you to the game? Was it the World War II thematics? Was it just, the fact it was a card game? What got you into it?
Um, well, I was playing another CCG before, and of course, I'm a gamer since my early childhood, I believe. Um, I started Hearthstone with the open beta, and I really liked this game. I played this for 2.5 years, completely free to play, because I was a student and I hadn't money to spend on random things. So this was important to me. In the early days, this was possible, even gaining a nice collection in Hearthstone and reaching the legend rank for basically every month. I was grinding arena a lot uh, for that grind to get the decent collection I need to. And I was a little bit too addicted to Hearthstone. My university wasn't really great. I missed a couple of tests. And when the midterms, not from a year, from the whole university, like the big finals for the first half of my education were coming, I just quit with Hearthstone and prepared for these. After that, I came to Dota 2 because I did it. I passed these big tests and I rewarded myself with a proper gaming PC. Maybe not the smartest idea, but I'm a gamer. So then I played Dota 2, and that is where my name came from. So I saw my brother. He went into Dota 2 a little bit earlier, and he had an amateur team, had a little of tournaments. I wanted that too. So I was playing a lot, and when this team disbanded, I collected a few of them and made my own team. So if you want to do something, you need to do it yourself. This is one thing I learned there. And there I got my current name. Before that, I had a different or multiple different nicknames. But because my brother and I, we were playing so much Dota semi-competitive together, we were relatively high on the same level. When we were searching for a match together, we most of the time we got into the same team. So we played solo queue, but together. This was a little sneaky, and my brother changed his names like every single week. And one week he had his nickname "Hello Darkness, my old friend." And because we were playing in solo queue together, I named myself Darkness as a joke. So in a game from 10 dudes playing Dota solo queue in one team were Hello Darkness, my old friend, and Darkness. So this is where my name came from. And I really liked this time playing together with my brother, having this Dota 2 team build up for fun, and of course being competitive. Since then, my name is Darkness. But when I finished my education, I quit Dota 2 as well. The reason for that was, even if I were the highest rank Immortal in Dota, I met Jarex, the current world champion from Team OG in Hamburg at an ESL 1 major tournament. And I had the opportunity to play 1v1 against him. He was just 2 levels ahead of me. He was so much better, and I realized I need either completely focus on my esport career to be able to get money and something out of it, or I could use my 4 out of 5 years university and just finish that, my education, to have a stable job. And I choose that, quit Dota, prepared for my final exam. And because I quit Dota, I had suddenly a lot of free time because I played like 5 or 6 hours per day.
Wow.
And yeah, well, of course, I used some time to study, but I had still 2 or 3 hours in the evening. And then I noticed cards. Like one of the former Hearthstone streamer played that card game. I was like, yeah, this looks fun. Let's try it. Let's try it. And it was amazing. You don't have to pay a lot to be able to get a collection. You can collect this free to play by just grinding a couple of hundreds of hours. The community was nice. It was a nice small indie developer studio. Actually, listened to the fan base, to the player. Completely different to Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
While the mechanic and the strategic was very similar to Hearthstone, where I came from. So I felt like home, and this is how I came into cards.
That's awesome. I have so many follow-up questions about that story. But thank you also for sharing where your name comes from. I make it a point to ask everybody where their name comes from because I think it's so interesting and you have so many different stories. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's a really, really funny way to come about that name. And I think that, the Hello Darkness, my old friend thing, at least from running some cards tournaments, I've definitely seen people get paired up against you. And, that line ends up being dropped in chat somewhere or in Discord. So that's awesome that that's actually where that came from. So you mentioned you started with Hearthstone before playing cards, and obviously you've had a little bit of an affinity for CCGs. What is it about card games specifically that interests you?
I can't really say that. Well, I'm not interested in the theme. The World War II theme or the Blizzard theme. I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in the mechanic. In maybe it's like because I like counting things, like a little habit of mine, or I actually like math and
Okay.
that, like thinking about the multiple pairs of possibilities, calculating what's best, what are the best odds here. That is the challenging part I'm interested to.
So a lot of times card games, it's exactly like you said, right? You've got that math, that more analytical side. It's a little bit slower paced. You can calculate things out. Now you went from Hearthstone, a single player, essentially a little bit slower pace game, to go into Dota, which is kind of the opposite in a lot of ways. Kind of which do you prefer, or did you find it a big jump to go from one to the other? Or like you said, your kind of background in gaming just made you feel real comfortable in Dota right away?
I like both. I really like the team aspect because you need to coordinate and to work together
Mhm.
in a team of 5 to be successful. And if you are, this feels very rewarding. Being part of this group, being part of this successful group, even if this is just a random victory in the matchmaking. But honestly, it's way harder to organize. I organized my team for 2.5 years, an amateur Dota 2 esport team. Well, maximum semi-professional. But this was so hard because there was always something going on between the
Mhm.
player, and it's very hard to schedule where all 5 players are able to train and to play tournaments. And there are some troubles between uh, some persons in the team or the team against one, and there are some roster changes because some people are choosing to have a real life and do something else, and you need to find someone new. Like every 2 months or 3 months, I need to look for someone new for the team. This was so exhausting.
Mhm.
Well, definitely rewarding, but you need to put a lot of work and effort into this. This is definitely some part. My 6 hours per day for Dota came
Yeah.
from at least 1 hour team organization and stuff. So when I choose to focus on my education, I didn't had enough time to continue this. So this was a reason to change to cards and why I'm currently sticking to cards, because I don't have a quarter of my day to fully invest into a team online game.
If only, wouldn't that just be the best? But you talk a lot about your education and, building, like you said, a stable career for yourself. And, you do have a demanding career and you're able to balance, some streaming, tournament play with cards and very high level esports. How do you balance kind of that career aspect as well as everything you do in the card scene?
Well, I have a full-time job, and I I'm sometimes I'm joking about being addicted to, but I'm not an addict because I choose to prioritize
Mhm.
prioritize my real life, like my relationship and my work, over my hobby, like my gaming. So my work comes first. I have a full-time job. Need to be in the office at certain times, and I need to sleep before that. So my day is scheduled after that, and the free time uh, I'm having a long-term relationship with my girlfriend. So second, I need to look where when I'm able to meet her, when I'm able to visit her, when she's able to visit me, and then comes my gaming, my streaming content. And when I do have free time, I often play cards, mostly cards, or watching series or playing some other games just to relax. This is my schedule.
Yeah, so it's nice finding a balance between all of that. And I imagine at the same time you spoke of your girlfriend, and I know we've joked about it before. I think I did an interview after you won an event and you had baked her a cake, essentially bribing her, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna play card game today, but it's worth it because here's a cake." So would you say that she's understanding when it comes to, let's say, certain weekends being dedicated to a certain event or a tournament or something like that, you're either playing in or casting or whatever the case may be?
Yes, she's very understanding and supportive because she knows I really love cards and my hobby, and I'm very happy doing so. So she's into it too and supporting me as well. Well, she's not a gamer. She doesn't really like games and playing this on her own, but she's supportive for me, and I really appreciate that. Of course, it's a thing to find the balance correctly. So if I'm playing one weekend or one day 8 hours cards, I definitely need to prioritize her on the next day and treat her well. But that's definitely possible because she's open for my hobby, and other like my parents when I was in school, she don't think I'm an addict and I need professional help. So this helps a lot, being open-minded and not being a gamer. And she sees not only how much I like this, but she sees how ambitious and how successful I am. Like being a cards player, winning tournaments, making some money. Um, this was the point where I changed the opinion of my parents as well. Like I finished my educations, got a job, still playing games and winning money with that. My parents needed a long time to understand that, but no, they are supportive as well.
Well, especially when somebody like yourself can be balanced, right? You can finish school, you can start a career, you can have a healthy relationship where that person supports you, you can make a couple bucks on the side doing your hobby. I imagine that all helps kind of people, understand where you're coming from in that direction. You've talked a lot about the tournament scene and esports and Dota and things like that. Have you always been a very competitive person from that side of things, wanting to compete even from your Hearthstone days, making sure you make it to, let's say, Legend every month, things like that? Has it always been a big part of what you do?
Yeah, I'm a very ambitious and competitive person. I think everything I do is competitive for me. If I do something, I want to be the best and I want to be successful. And if I realize I'm not made to do this, I'm not good at it, and I'm not getting better, this is very disappointing for me
Mhm.
and forces me usually to do something else what is more healthy and more rewarding for me.
I also love that you have that vision, though, and the way you explained it is really important because you didn't just say, if I'm not good at this, I don't want to do it. It's if I'm not good and I don't see myself improving in it, because, yeah, you're not always going to start as being the best at anything, but you need to continue to put the effort in and put the work in. What kind of mindset do you have when you're in a situation where you start something new or try something new and you're working at improving at it? What keeps you focused and driven to continue, even if you're not, the best when you start out at a new project, new game, new whatever?
Well, I need to be interested in the game. Is it like the mechanic, what I really like about cards, or the theme, or the atmosphere, or whatever? For example, like starting a Twitch channel, starting a YouTube channel. Um, First, to do that, I need to be interested, and I'm getting interested quickly. Like I am able to hype myself, or I'm getting hyped a lot, and I want to try a lot of things and a lot of different things for me. Uh, I'm I'm very much like this getting hyped and dreamer personality to have a lot of ideas and to try a lot of things. But most of the time, it's not working very well for me. And um, and I only can find this out when I try it, when I'm getting invested, when I'm trying my best, when I put effort in this, like energy, power. But I need to get something back. Like if I'm not rewarded by something, I'm losing my interest very fast. So I dropped a lot of things because of that, because it's just not rewarding. So I really need to find something what is interesting for me in the first way, and where I see myself improving and getting better and getting something out of it.
And I think that makes perfect sense, right? If you're going to put the effort in, you want to see the reward back after the fact. Now, you mentioned from the beginning, right, that you're a gamer, and that's where a lot of that passion comes from, and that's where a lot of that excitement comes from the time that you were a child. What first got you into gaming? Do you remember the first game you played, or the first game that really like caught your eye and got you involved? What was that?
Yeah, my my earliest childhood memory with gaming came with my father, because at some day he got an old PC, I think Windows 95 from whoever, and in one room he had that, and this PC had a single game. I don't know the name and I wasn't able to find it, but it was a game where you could choose an airplane and flying around shooting at tanks. Like you could choose between three fighter, and there were like 4 or 5 different tanks, and the graphic were like some green rocks. But this was my first memory with my father, and this was very nice playing with my father.
Mhm.
And yeah, since then I like gaming.
That's awesome. And I think so much of that is from that first experience and who introduces us to games and things like that. And I think back in my one of my first memories of gaming is very similar. And it was actually the same thing. My father introduced me to a game, and I think back now, and I was like, at the time, my dad was in his, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s as well, like not far from what my age is. So it's like, yeah, you know what, that makes sense that he would also be excited about, especially at that point, newer technology coming out, new computers and things like that. That yeah, I totally understand why, at the time they were excited about gaming becoming a thing as well in kind of the modern PC in the modern world. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about this famous trip to Iceland now that I've been hearing a load about. So, first off, why Iceland? Was it just to visit 1939, or did you have ulterior motives as to why you wanted to go to Iceland?
Well, actually, there are several reasons, but the main reason is I was top four at the last Cards World Championship. And the plan was like the first Cards World Championship, fly the top four participants to Iceland to the office so they can play there for the
Mhm.
prize money. But COVID-19 stole this experience from me.
Right.
So I say to myself, okay, let's grab the prize money and fly to Iceland by myself.
Awesome.
This was the main reason. But I was already interested in Iceland as vacation location because Iceland has a lot of beautiful pictures like
Mhm.
volcanoes, the tectonic plates coming together, geysers, a lot of beautiful pictures. Some other people talked already about they were to Iceland. It was so beautiful. And my girlfriend as well. She was to Iceland once with her mother, and she's told me too that it's beautiful there. And yeah, that's it. I just took my prize money from the tournaments I won and booked the vacation with my girlfriend.
That's
And
awesome.
of course, to visit 1939.
Right.
I'm deeply invested into cards with multiple things like being internal tester, being streamer, being tournament player, working together with you and
Mhm.
Miss Ollie a lot. So I just wanted to visit them to get the promised experience uh,
Yeah.
they uh, they stole from me just
Yeah.
because of this.
And that's perfect. It's exactly like you said, that experience was taken away from you. So, hey, no problem. I'm going to take my prize money from cards and I'm going to go and I'm going to get that experience back. So, before we get to 1939 specifically, you were told a lot about Iceland. Seems like there's, obviously a lot of beautiful, aspects of nature and things like that. Did the trip kind of meet your expectations? Was it everything you thought it would be from that kind of, exploration perspective?
Well, yeah, it had everything I imagined, even better, like the good things, but it had some deep depths as well.
Okay.
Um, Maybe start with that. After this is solved, a funny little story. But the day I fly to Iceland, I had to move very early to the airport. I slept like 3 or 4 hours, went into the plane, flew to Iceland, picked up the rented car, grabbed my girlfriend. She had to go there earlier. She wasn't full vaccinated yet. So she spent 5 days in quarantine waiting for me. And well, I got the car, picked her up. We went to the apartment, wasn't ready yet, so we grabbed a snack, sit back into the car, ate something, and when we were there sitting in the parking lot, another driver tried to park his car at the place where our car was standing. So he crashed into
Oh,
us,
no.
damaged the car 2 hours after I picked up this rented car. Oh, after I didn't sleep for I slept 3 hours, was on travel for like 8 or 9 hours, and then that happened. The
Oh,
first
no.
arriving day was could only get better after that.
Perfect.
Well, we solved this. This man was very nice. His daughter translated. He gave me his ID, and his driver license to make a picture. We tried to contact the support hotline from the company, from the car renting company. Terrible English. Terrible English. My girlfriend finally understood him, and he said, "Please look in the glove cave or
The glove compartment, yeah.
compartment." Yeah. Is there a paper what tells you what to do? No. Okay, sorry, I can't help you.
Oh no.
So we tried the second support hotline of this company, but they weren't speaking English or German or Icelandic, so we couldn't even communicate. I drove back to the airport, told the people there, hey, this happened. Look at the damage. They say, yeah, okay, it's a lot of damage, but it's just a scratch. Yeah, we charge you the minimum amount, and this is around $1,100. What the fuck?
What?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
the minimum amount?
That's the minimum amount. Iceland is expensive.
Okay.
Iceland is so expensive. Well, I paid this with my credit card. I got a invoice, a receipt. I met again with the man who caused this damage, and he paid me cash.
Wow.
So this was solved between both of us. No police or companies needed. We just solved this by our own. I'm glad that worked smoothly. But this was the first day, and I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
But it only got better after that.
I was gonna say, at least it got better after that. We do have some pictures of some of your trip, but before we get to that, I just wanted to chat a little bit about visiting 1939 as well. What was that like? Was that what you expected? I know again we're going to show a video as well a little bit later on. You got to meet a good amount of the team as well. How was the visit there?
The visit was amazing. I'm working a lot with Ollie and casting together, speaking together. I think once or twice a month I'm in contact with Ollie, and we are not only working together, we are more having a friendly relationship.
Mhm.
And I was, well, actually, that kind of friendly relationship, my girlfriend is sometimes a little bit jealous because I spend a lot of time with him. So I was very happy to see him, and of course the 1939 office, the place where Cards is made. So I was very, very excited to see them, and they were excited to see me. So this was a very friendly get-togethering. I chatted with them earlier via email, like, hey, I'm available at these days. And they invited me to the office like 4 p.m. after they work to have a beer and a chat. This was amazing. Very, very enjoyable time. I brought some German candy as well. I got some intel, but most of the time we just talked about random things and get to know each other. I really loved this experience. I got a gift. I got a gift from Ren. Wait a second.
You can tell that Darkness is so excited about this as he bolts out of his chair. And then runs by the other way. There we go.
I got a card back. I'm so excited because early on, the first season winner received bag like this as well. This is
That's
like
awesome.
a little bag with some gifts in it, like something like this, and some model plane and tank
That's so cool.
in the card theme. And I was so happy about the first bag. I'm wearing this like 2 years every day, and it's very used and start falling apart. I was so happy to get a new one. I was very very excited about that and celebrating this like the next days and annoying my girlfriend a little bit over that.
it was your favorite part of the trip, and she's just like, "Yeah, you're going to hang out with Ollie some more." Okay.
Yeah, like that.
But that's, I mean, it's like you said, right? You've worked with Ollie a lot. You kind of have come in contact with different people in 1939 through all the work you've done, and doing some of the testing and all that. So to finally meet these people in person has been, quite the experience for you. So I totally get why you're that excited, and get a little bit of swag as well. It definitely helps keep that excitement going. You did share some of the images of your trip, so I figure we can kind of jump into those. I think Markthies has them queued up, some of the different sites you had seen. So that's the Blue Lagoon.
Well, the first 3 days, my girlfriend and I, we made a trip, well, did several trips through Iceland to see the nature and a lot of famous things. You will see some places of this. And yes, this is a Blue Lagoon. It's like a little lake, but it's very warm, like a swimming pool, because there's hot water coming out of the earth. And next to this, there's a big building as well to get this geothermal energy from this hot water and steam. And I think, yeah, that's me.
You can almost see like the steam coming up. It looks like it's nice and warm.
It's nice and warm. And I think this is one of the 25 world wonders, the Blue Lagoon, because the water, as you can see, it's like blue and a little bit like milk, so like white blue. It's amazing. They say it's from silica, the white thing all over the rocks. It's very enjoyable there, and this was very relaxing. And it's just beautiful because the landscape, not only just behind me in that picture, but all over the place for kilometers. These are 800 years old lava rocks. And the whole area is looking like that, like black rocks all over the place. And then you will find a blue lagoon in the middle of that, of nearly nowhere. What is actually very nice and very enjoyable. But well, for this is day one of activities. Something was wrong there. Never mind. And the weather report said, typical for Iceland, rain the whole day. 3 hours without rain, but completely cloudy. We arrived there. 6 hours of sunshine, and we forgot the sun blocker. So as you can see in this picture, I'm starting to get my skin burned. I'm getting a little red there. This was after the car accident, the second thing. I burned myself. Well,
oh no.
Burned ourselves really badly. Like the shoulder and the part of the arms. But it's like better after that.
Are you collecting garbage in the Blue Lagoon at this point?
Well, in the Blue Lagoon, there is an in-pool bar. So you can get drinks, even alcohol, while being in the pool. But not all people are getting the bottles and the glasses back. And they were lying at the side, at the rocks. Yes, I was just collecting them and putting them in the right spaces. And you can see I'm getting even more red.
It's just the progression of how red you are getting. Look at you, the upstanding citizen collecting the garbage, keeping the Blue Lagoon clean. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I tried to be a nice tourist. They ask tourists all over the place to be nice and collect the trash, etc. So I just did that, respected the speed limit. But later in the 1939 office and at dinner, after that, they explained me only tourists are expecting the speed limit, and so everything's down. Well, this is day 2. Well, I'm not looking that bad, but definitely more red than usual. This was a beautiful waterfall. I think this is a waterfall with the most amount of water coming down. It was actually very wet there because the waterfall continues to the right from this picture, and a lot of like not steam but aerosol, like
mist.
mist is coming up there. But again, this was another sunny day. Like the 3 days of our activities were very sunny. This was a very beautiful day. You could even see a little rainbow there. This was a nice experience, but next to the waterfall there was like nothing but a gift shop with crazy prices. So
Yeah. the tourist trap, if you will.
Tourist trap. And this is day 3. This is the glacier Solheimjökull. I trained this a lot to pronounce this, as it means home of the sun. And the guide was joking because in Iceland it's raining 360 days a year. So we were very lucky seeing this glacier in the sun, because usually it's ironic because it's raining so much, and the Icelandic people still name this glacier home of the sun, although it's not sunny there. So this was a lucky day, and this was very exciting too. Well, at day 3 I got used to the weather. It was like between 8 and 15 degrees Celsius there, and I came from Germany where it was 28.
Mm-hmm.
So the first days I was shaking and driving all day. But it was very sunny there. I put on ski underwear, and we climbed the glacier in a little group. This was amazing. And again, you can see a lot of these rocks, these mountains in Iceland. The nature there is just beautiful, and sometimes like a different planet.
Well, like you said, you've seen a little bit of everything, because, and I mean, as we take a look at this photo, you've got your lagoon, you've got your glaciers, you've got your waterfalls, you've got your volcanoes. You can really get to everything in a small space.
Exactly. This is day 7, I believe. After Wednesday, with the guys at the 1939 office, at Saturday, I met again with Ollie, where you guys from 983 were producing the OCC. Ollie finally got a free Saturday, not having, not needing to organize the OCC all by himself. And we used this time to make a little trip all over the country to check out the active volcano. I can't pronounce this volcano. This one erupted in April this year after sending hundreds of little earthquakes to Reykjavik and the office of 1939 as well. And this is one mountain next to the volcano. You can't see the eruption, but the frozen lava. This is a black area in the back where a little smoke came out. The lava came down this mountain into this valley and froze, and it's black now. And yeah, this is some fresh earth. And Ollie, my girlfriend, and I had a nice day driving through the country, watching this volcano, getting to the place where the plates, like the North American and the Eurasian plate, come together, and crossing the bridge like, hey, we are in Europe now. Now we are on South America. We're in Europe. Let's have a chat over there in another continent. This was a very fun day.
That's awesome. And I think, oh yeah, we have one more picture from 1939. That's at headquarters.
Yeah, that's a big box in the headquarters. They do have a big room office. I don't know the right terminology, but the office is very pretty. Like it's a lot of free space, a lot of PCs and technique, but a lot of like vintage things and cards theme things as well as this wood box looks like world coming straight out of 1940 out of the World War. And they have a lot of other things like cards bags. I think there were like hundreds all over the place. And like a steel helmet and more things like that, like posters. Their office is very aesthetic. And this is where we had a German candy challenge, because as a gift, I bought some German candy with me for them to try, to get a nice first impression, because I was so excited. I wanted to have a nice first impression.
For sure. And I think we have a little clip of your German candy challenge here.
The first candy is not, all of that is not sponsored. The first candy is Hanuta.
Hanuta?
Well, most of the people from other countries maybe don't know that, but this is very popular.
Popular.
Well,
This looks like Nutella.
It's not Nutella, different company, but it's the right direction. It's basically some waffles and chocolate cream in between with some pieces of hazelnut.
Okay.
Hanuta. Yeah, Hanuta. This is short for Haselnuss.
Tafel.
Tafel.
I had some when I was over in Vienna once. They were really good. Like, I feel like from that part of Europe, they just make really good wafer candies. Wafer cookies, keep at it. Good.
Yeah, there are a lot of similar things, like you maybe know Duplo, which is like a really long stick, basically, of chocolate, and they will say it's a praline, but it's basically like just wafers in between chocolate, and it tastes like hazelnuts as well. So chocolate, hazelnuts, and wafers is like best combination in Germany.
Yeah, it's really good. But I think this is a trick. You're kind of giving us the nice ones first.
Yeah.
Those looked great. I think the whole video is on your YouTube page. Is that correct?
It will arrive on my YouTube. Maybe it is when this interview is getting live.
Okay.
But it will definitely be at my YouTube channel, yes.
Awesome. Do you want to tell people where that would be and where they can find you if they haven't found you yet?
You can find me on YouTube and on Twitch at Darkness for Gaming.
Awesome. So you'll be able to find that whole video there. I have one more question for you though, Darkness, because we saw in the Blue Lagoon pictures, for example, that little bun you had going on or the ponytail, and you've got an absolute fresh haircut. What made you decide, hey, it was time for a little trim?
Yeah, actually, I thought about that already 1 year ago. Like, from my childhood, I liked long hair. I wanted to have my hair long, and I fight against my parents to get my hair longer. And as student, I was able to just let it grow and getting a ponytail, very long hair. Well, I liked that, but at some point I was thinking about getting a change, and long hair is not always great, because if this bump is too tight, I'm getting a headache. It's not very comfortable, and I had a lot of baby hair, like short hair, not getting into the ponytail, like the front and in the back, and I was looking a little messy. So yeah, I was thinking about a change a lot, and I needed 1 year to be brave enough to do it. But at the end of my vacation, like one week after the Iceland trip, I decided, yeah, let's do it. I called at the barber place, and they said, yeah, come in 1.5 hours. I thought, great. I went there, and when they asked me what to do, I said, yeah, cut my hair. Like that. Cut it off.
That's great. Well, it looks fantastic. Thank you again for joining us, Darkness, here on the War Room. Is there anything else you want to mention or put that there into the community before we wrap this up?
Well, if you're into cards and playing cards, make sure you're following the cards Discord and maybe the bigger streamer like Spoos, like me, and like 983. They are organizing the tournaments. There are a few more tournaments coming in the next couple of months, but everything leads to the next World Championship in November and December. So this is going to be exciting. Check that out.
And knock on wood that this time around, the top 4 for the World Championships will actually get flown to Iceland and actually play the game in person, COVID permitting. So thank you so much for joining us again, Darkness. And I know you'll be back on the War Room soon, whether that's in another interview or the expert panel. So I will see you again soon in the Cards universe.
Thank you very much, Christo.